Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope my voice is clear. Okay, so just give me a confirmation. Okay, if my voice is clear, there's no issue with the voice. And also, yes, uh, I'm waiting for the confirmation, guys, quickly. Also, tell me if you can see the presentation on the screen, PPT. Yes, chapter number 1, PPT. I hope it's visible. Okay, Ajit, thank you very much. So, how many students we are hearing today? Uh, could you guys please just say hi on the chat box? Okay. A very good evening to all of you. I hope the yesterday's session was good and you guys understood whatever I taught you yesterday. Okay. The concepts were getting cleared. Okay. Okay. Sudhir is also here. Okay. Anybody else we have in the session? Any student? Okay, no worries. So, I hope it's visible. Chapter 1, Business Organization and their Stakeholder. So, what we are going to do today, as per our schedule for BT subject, today is for Chapter 1 only, and we will be finishing it like 80%, 80 to 90%. And yes, so what we'll do first in every session, not just in this session, whatever we have studied yesterday's in the previous session, हम उसको एक बार revise करेंगे. We are going to revise it once. Okay, so that you guys get the idea. Okay, I don't know whether you are revising on your own or not, but please do start the revision properly. Okay. So, chapter 1, business organization and their stakeholder. This is what we started yesterday, apart from this, some information about the BT subject. Now, in this first we discussed the purpose of business organization. Basically, this is what is business organization. So, it's a social arrangement that pursues the collective goals, control the performance, and has a boundary separating it from the environment. Okay, this is what business organizations means. है ना? Some features of business organizations. So business organizations has goals, objectives. Okay, they have some division of work. Okay, and they have focus on the performance. They have a formal systems and there is a proper procedure. And yes, there is input-output process in a business. तो ये कुछ basic features होते हैं किसी भी एक business organizations के. Now this business organization could be a sole proprietor, partnership firm, companies, private, okay, पब्लिक लिमिटेड ओके इट कुड बी एनीथिंग उसके बाद हमने पढ़ा व्हाई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एग्जिस्ट एनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन व्हाई डू दे एग्जिस्ट so the reason is when you have an organization, so organization is basically a group of people है ना which they have the collective goals, so it enables the specialization, economies of scale and coordination to achieve results individual cannot achieve alone. That's basically the purpose of creating the organization. Now, different types of organizations we have on the basis of these are some bases. So, ownership ke basis pe we have private and public organizations. On the basis of control, we have owner owned business and managers. In the basis of activity, we have manufacturing, service, profit orientation, profit versus non-profit organization, legality. So we have company, we have partnership firms, we have sole proprietorship, size, small versus the multinational corporation, finance source and technology. So different types of organizations we have. Then we discuss the sectors of business activity. So these are some major sectors, but this is not the final list. There could be others also. So agriculture sector, manufacturing sector, extractive sector like coal mines, है ना? Energy sector, retailing distribution sector, intellectual production, service industry and IT sector. This was easy. Then we discussed the difference between profit and non-profit organizations. So in case of the goal is different. In case of profit organizations, they have this goal of maximizing the wealth of shareholders. In case of not-for-profit organization, the goal is this: providing goods and services. Providing goods and services effectively, efficiently. Funding on the basis of stakeholders, so different stakeholders are there. Measurement of performance, so profit oriented organizations measure their performance by checking their profitability. Non-profit organization have this value for money social impact. Technology use, so competitive advantage and efficiency and outreach. Public sector organizations we discussed, these are basically owned and controlled by the government. It could be local or national. Funded through tax system, taxation, and the focus is service provision, not profit. These are some examples, some advantages and disadvantages. Then we discuss the limited liability companies. है ना? So it could be private, it could be public limited. So in case of private limited, owned by few and shares are not public. In case of public limited, shares are traded in the stock exchange. These are some advantages and disadvantages of companies. We saw this example. Then we saw cooperative societies. So in case of cooperative societies, there is open membership, democratic control, that means one member, one vote. Profit sharing is there, educational role, social goals are also there. In case of mutual associations, they exist for mutual benefit of members. Members are both owners and customers, savers. Okay. Profits are retained or returned to the members and no external shareholders. After this, once this part, so like I told you, the chapter 1 is basically divided into two parts: business organizations and their stakeholders. Okay? So this business organization part we have discussed. Different types of business organization, we saw their advantages, differences, disadvantages, etc. But I am sure कि ये cooperative और mutual association में you guys must be having some doubt. Okay? तो एक काम करते हैं, like I said earlier, let's go to the Excel sheet and discuss some cases, and with the help of these cases you will have a better idea of what is this cooperative society and these mutual organizations. I hope now on the screen you can see the Excel sheet. Just give me a confirmation quickly on the chat box. Can you see the Excel sheet? Anyone student? Okay, thank you Ajit. So now pay attention. Case study 1, cooperative society. Okay, the name of this cooperative society is Sunrise Farmers Dairy Cooperative. ये नाम है इनका. So you can see their business is dairy. Now let's understand. Okay, let's not judge anything here. In a rural district in Maharashtra, okay, 1200 small farmers struggle with fluctuating milk prices offered by private dairy processors. है ना? So this was their problem. So they protect themselves. How? They form Sunrise Farmers Dairy Cooperative. उन्होंने एक cooperative society बनाई जहाँ पे each farmer contributes a small membership fees. हर एक जो farmer है is going to contribute a certain fees. Each farmer gets one vote regardless of her size. Very important point, है ना? So each farmer has one vote. इससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि वो फार्मर कितने सी इट्स अ डेयरी बिजनेस, सो वो इससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि वो फार्मर अपने साथ कितने काउज को लेके आ रहा है, कितनी बेफेलोस को लेके आ रहा है फॉर मिल्क. सो इफ यू आर अ फार्मर, इफ आई एम अ फार्मर and we have opened this cooperative society, and let's say I am bringing 100 cows, you are bringing 20 cows, it does not matter, we both will be having one vote each. ऐसा नहीं कि मेरे पास 100 काउज है तो मैं 100 वोट डाल सकता हूँ. यू हैव ओनली 220 काउज, सो यू कैन ओनली कास्ट 20 वोट्स. नो, दैट्स नॉट अ केस. वी आर एन इंडिविजुअल, वी कैन ओनली हैव वन वोट. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट इन रिस्पेक्ट ऑफ कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज. प्रॉफिट्स आर शेयर्ड इन प्रपोर्शन टू मिल्क सप्लाइड. ओके, एंड दिस इज हाउ दे आर गोइंग टू शेयर द प्रॉफिट. जो जितना मिल्क सप्लाई करेगा उसको उतना फायदा दिया जाएगा. द कोऑपरेटिव रन्स अ ट्रेनिंग सेंटर फॉर एनिमल न्यूट्रिशन. ठीक है, दे प्रोवाइड ट्रेनिंग ऑल्सो. And decision on pricing, quality checks, investments are taken democratically. That means by passing the vote. इस तरह से decision लेते हैं. Now over the 5 years, the cooperative grows rapidly. Farmers' income becomes more stable, and but newer members begin demanding modern equipment. जो नए member आए वो नए equipment मांग रहे हैं, and digital payment system, while older members prefer the traditional system only. So you can see by reading these two lines, we understand that there is a kind of dispute happening. Hana, the newer members are demanding some modern equipment, old farmers are satisfied with the traditional system. So there's a dispute. So these are some four questions जिसको हमें discuss करना है, and with the help of this guys, trust me, you will never forget what is cooperative societies. So first point which we need to discuss is what key features prove that Sunrise Dairy is a cooperative society. And now I would like ask all of you, tell me the answer of this. ऐसा कौन सा फीचर है जो आपको ये प्रूव कर देता है कि सनराइज डेयरी एक कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी है? यू कैन रीड फ्रॉम हियर एंड टेल मी. How can you know that yes, Sunrise Dairy is a cooperative society? Yes, anyone? How can you know that Sunrise Farmers is a dairy cooperative society? Yes, it is owned and operated by the local members. Very good point. Apart from this, we also see this is very good point, Ajit. It is owned and operated by the local members, local farmers. है ना? Also, see this one vote point. They have only one vote, each farmer. है ना? So it doesn't depend on how many cows, buffaloes you have. Okay, this is a very important point. Okay, okay. See the second one. How is the principle one member one vote helps in decision making? So this is a principle कि एक member एक ही vote pass करेगा, तो ये कैसे decision making में help करेगा? We'll see that. What type of conflict may arise between new and old members? Okay, and who are the main stakeholders here, and what are their expectations? Who are the main stakeholders? Obviously the farmers. So don't worry guys, if you see the next sheet, yeah. So case study 1, this is the solution, or you can see say the answers for everything. So everything is in detail, very much detail. So जब भी आपको पढ़ना है, you can quickly go through it and you have very good idea then. So case study number 1 about the cooperative society, Sunrise Farmers Dairy Cooperative. What was the first question? Key feature prove that Sunrise Dairy is a cooperative society. So see, पहला feature तो यही हो गया, member ownership, farmers like you said, Ajit, very good, that the locals, okay, farmers themselves own the cooperative. Membership is open, any farmer can join. Remember, we discussed that yesterday. Democratic control, one member, one vote. Profit sharing is there, how the only the surplus will be distributed based on the milk they are supplying. Okay, social goals is there. तो एक cooperative society के ये features होते हैं. If you have just one or two feature, that's not sufficient. You should have all these features in place. Member participation, farmers decide pricing, investment, etc. So these features combinedly prepare a cooperative society. So just remember the name. Member ownership, open membership, democratic control, profit sharing, social goals, member party. And this all we discussed in the yesterday's PPT, guys. Okay, I can show you. See, these are the features. बस इसी features के basis पे this is the case study. Now, what was the second question? How does the how does the one member, one vote principle help in decision making? So see, it ensures equal power, preventing larger firms from dominating. So if suppose there are 100 farmers and one farmer has 100 cows, तो एक पावर आ जाती है कि मेरे पास 100 गायें हैं, ठीक है, आपको प्रॉफिट ज़्यादा मिलेगा. But when there is a decision making, you have only one vote. See, so they are maintaining this power, equal power with every single farmer, okay, whether it's a small farmer or whether it's a big farmer. It encourages the fair representation. It protects the cooperative from being influenced by the capital size. It doesn't matter how much capital you have, how many cows you have. Okay. Create trust, promote social equality aligning with cooperative values. Simple. What was the third question? किस तरह का conflict हो सकता है between the old and new member? So likely stakeholder conflicts due to different expectation. See the new members, it's a new generation, so they want digital payments, modern equipment, faster process. But the old members, okay, they prefer traditional methods, fear unnecessary cost. तो इस तरह के कुछ disputes हो सकते हैं. So that's a simple point. What was the fourth question we had? Who are the main stakeholders here and what are their expectations? So you can see यहाँ पे मैंने stakeholders की list रखी है और उनकी क्या क्या expectations हैं वो भी आपके सामने एक मिनट हाँ वो भी आपके सामने मैंने present कर दिया है. Let me just correct the formatting. Okay. So कौन कौन से stakeholders हैं यहाँ पे ध्यान से देखिए. Farmers, obviously farmers are the members, so they are the stakeholder. Employees who are working in that cooperative society apart from farmers, community at all, government and supplier. Government भी तो होगी ना. तो देखिए सबका क्या expectations है. Farmers expect कि यार उनको fair prices मिले for their milk, democratic voice, stable income. This is what farmers as a stakeholder expect. Employees, what employees expect? Job security, training, fair wages. So training was also there. कम्युनिटी लोकल एम्प्लॉयमेंट होना चाहिए, फेयर प्रैक्टिसेस फॉलो होनी चाहिए. गवर्नमेंट एक्सपेक्ट्स यू दैट यू मेंटेन द हाइजीन, टैक्स शुड बी पेड, है ना. कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी आल्सो हैज टू पे द टैक्सेस. सप्लायर्स कांस्टेंट डिमांड, टाइमली पेमेंट. सो ऑब्वियसली दिस कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी मस्ट बी हैविंग सम सप्लायर्स हु सप्लाइज देम सर्टेन थिंग्स फॉर रनिंग देयर डेयरी बिजनेस. सो दो सप्लायर्स आल्सो एक्सपेक्ट कि आप उनसे कंसिस्टेंटली चीज़ें डिमांड करोगे और टाइमली पेमेंट करोगे. ठीक है. So these are some stakeholders and their expectations. Now so this was about guys cooperative society. I hope with the help of this simple case study now you have a better idea ki what is actually a cooperative society and how it basically works. Important is features. Let's see the case study 2 about the mutual associations. Okay, one second. हाँ, mutual associations क्या होते हैं. So there is a building society in this example, Secure Save Building Society. Now what is this Secure Save? It's a mutual financial institution in United Kingdom. UK means not Uttarakhand, it's UK. Okay, United Kingdom. It's a mutual financial institution. It has no external shareholder. Instead, customers who open the saving account automatically become the member. तो एक ना cooperative bank है ये, आप ये बोल सकते हो. ओके कुछ लोगों को लगा यार बैंक में क्या पैसे जमा करना है, हम आपस में एक म्यूचुअल फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन या बैंक ओपन कर लेते हैं. सो ऑल द कस्टमर्स हु आर डिपॉजिटिंग देयर मनी इन दिस फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन और टेकिंग लोन फ्रॉम दिस फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन, दे आर द वन हु हैज ओपन दिस इंस्टीट्यूशन, सो दे आर द मेंबर एंड दे आर ऑल्सो द कस्टमर्स. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फीचर ऑफ म्यूचुअल एसोसिएशन. इन केस ऑफ कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी जो अभी से पहले पढ़ा था, कस्टमर्स बाहर वाले भी हो सकते हैं. जैसे डेयरी जो हमारा एग्जांपल था कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी का. सो ऑल 100 फार्मर्स दे आर ब्रिंगिंग देयर काउज विद द मिल्क. सो ऑब्वियसली दे आर सेलिंग दिस मिल्क टू द एक्सटर्नल पार्टीज लाइक अस. सो हेयर द कस्टमर्स कैन ऑल्सो बी आउटसाइडर. खुद भी कंज्यूम करेंगे बट बाहर वालों को भी तो दे रहे हैं. सो दे आर मेकिंग प्रॉफिट्स ऑल्सो. बट हेयर द कस्टमर इज द मेंबर. So it's for their, see the name, mutual benefit. ये आपस में mutual benefit के लिए उन्होंने बनाया है. So no external shareholders here. Now what service the members will have? Members will get higher interest on deposit. They will get lower interest on if they take any loans. Annual member reward bonuses when profits are high. Recently, the management proposes investing in a risky fintech startup. तो इन्होंने रिसेंटली जो मैनेजमेंट है इस म्यूचुअल एसोसिएशन का, दे डिसाइडेड कि लेट्स हैव सम इन्वेस्टमेंट इन द फिनटेक. फिनटेक इज फाइनेंशियल टेक्नोलॉजी स्टार्टअप में. सम मेंबर्स सपोर्ट दिस इनोवेशन कि चलो हाँ इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए. अदर्स फियर इट विल डीस्टेबलाइज देयर सेविंग्स. Because members own the society, they are allowed to attend the annual meeting and vote on the proposal. Now these are some points which we need to discuss. Again there are 4 points. Okay, just a second. Yes. What features show that Secure Save is a mutual association and not a bank? ऐसा कौन सा feature है? So let me show you which feature was that. So what features show that Secure Save is a mutual association? Members are both owners and customers. क्या एक नॉर्मल बैंक में जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेट्स टेक द एग्जाम्पल ऑफ ICICI, HDFC, SBI. सो द मेंबर्स ऑफ दीज बैंक्स क्या वही कस्टमर होते हैं? बस नहीं ना. दैट्स अ नॉर्मल प्रॉपर बैंक. दे आर रनिंग अ कमर्शियल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फॉर प्रॉफिट्स. करेक्ट. बट हेयर यू हैव म्यूचुअल एसोसिएशन. हाँ आपका बिजनेस एक बैंक की तरह काम करता है, बट इट्स नॉट अ बैंक, इट्स अ म्यूचुअल एसोसिएशन. ओके, म्यूचुअल बेनिफिट ऑफ द मेंबर्स. नो एक्सटर्नल शेयर होल्डर्स, प्रॉफिट्स आर नॉट डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड टू आउटसाइडर्स. जो भी प्रॉफिट होगा आपस में बढ़ जाएगा. प्रॉफिट्स यूज टू ऑफर बेटर डिपॉजिट एंड लोन रेट्स. ओके, सो इफ देर इज एनी प्रॉफिट, उसको यूज किया जाता है कि अपने कस्टमर्स को या मेंबर्स को ही हम अच्छा इंटरेस्ट रेट प्रोवाइड कर सके. दे यूज इट देयर. सो इन शॉर्ट दे आर डिस्ट्रीब्यूटिंग द प्रॉफिट by giving you good interest rate on your deposit, or by giving you loans at a lower interest rate. See, this is how they are using the, so instead of distributing the profits to all the members, they are distributing like this. Okay, members vote at the annual meeting, so there is a democratic culture, and purpose is mutual benefit, not shareholder wealth. Question number 2. Why are members benefits possible only in mutual? Okay, let me show you the question 2. Yes. Why are members benefits, higher interest, lower loan interest, possible only in mutual organization? ठीक है. So, because it's very simple, there are no external shareholders demanding dividend. So obviously, see, in case of mutual organization, the members are the customer. So if there is any benefit, it's going to be to the members only. So there is no external shareholders जो आपसे dividend मांगेंगे. Surplus can be fully reinvested. Lower pressure for profit maximization. Purpose is service optimization, not return on capital employed. Members' interest is equals to organization interest, no conflict. Very important line. In case of mutual, see, in case of companies, normal business organization I'm talking about, वहाँ पे क्या होता है? There are shareholders who have invested money. So we need to generate profit so that we can increase their wealth, correct? That's our aim. But at the same time, we have to provide good quality of service, good quality of products, employees को salary. There are so many things. There are so many stakeholders. आपको सबको satisfy करना है, तो कई बार conflict आ जाता है. Okay, if I pay higher bonuses to the employees, the profit will reduce, so less profit will go to the shareholders. आ गया conflict. In case of mutual association, this conflict is not there. Why? Because there are only जो main stakeholder हैं, that's the members and they are the customers. So member का जो interest होगा, वही organization का interest होगा. Okay, so no conflict. Third question is, okay, third question is, according to Johnson and Scholes model, classify the stakeholders between internal, connected and external. So guys, इस Johnson and Scholes model हम बाद में पढ़ेंगे, अभी आप इसको जाने दीजिए, ठीक है? If management pushes for risky investments, what agency issue may arise? अगर जैसे यहाँ पे आपने पढ़ा, मैनेजमेंट बोल रहा था ना कि हम इन्वेस्टमेंट करेंगे, कहाँ गया? फिनटेक में, दिस लाइन. तो इफ मैनेजमेंट पुशेस फॉर रिस्की इन्वेस्टमेंट्स, व्हाट एजेंसी इश्यूज, किस तरह के इश्यूज यहाँ पे अराइज हो सकते हैं? तो लेट मी शो यू. सी, मेंबर्स, सी इट्स वेरी सिंपल. मैनेजमेंट इज सेइंग लेट्स इन्वेस्ट इन द फिनटेक. नाउ अगर आप पैसा इन्वेस्ट करते हो, दीज आर द मनी ऑफ द मेंबर्स ओनली. एंड इफ यू आर इन्वेस्टिंग एंड सपोज इन्वेस्टमेंट आपका फेल हो गया, तो मेंबर्स का तो नुकसान हो गया ना. तो members want safety of savings, management wants growth and innovation. See, there is a conflict. Now there is a conflict. Okay, managers, agents may take excessive risk to increase the reputation or bonus. Principal members bear the financial risk. ठीक है, so agency वाला भी आपको इतना clear नहीं होगा because we have not studied it properly. It will come in the next chapter. But I think this is sufficient to understand. So if I summarize this, that what is the main difference between these cooperative societies and mutual association? Mutual association is just for the mutual benefit of the members. So members are the customers. यहाँ की बाहर पे का आप किसी को कुछ नहीं दे रहे हो. But in case of cooperative societies, the members are could be customer, but yes, they also sell their products and service to the third party. Okay, that's I think the main difference. Okay, so tell me before we move further, is there any doubt? Anyone? Anything you want to ask me, please tell me. So if there are no doubts, let's have a quick quiz. Let's see if you can answer this. Case 3, Farmers Banking Network Cooperative and Mutual Association. Pay attention. A group of rural farmers, a group of rural farmers pool their savings to establish Green Harvest Credit Union. ठीक है? Every member has one vote. Every member has one vote, regardless of the money deposited. So it's basically a kind of bank, है ना? Profits are used to pay higher interest on deposits and to fund the local agriculture training. Now some fill in the blanks are there. Now this I would like everyone to answer. Green Harvest Credit Union is an example of dash association as members are both owners and customers. Tell me the answer for this. क्या लिखे हैं यहाँ पे? Example of what? Yes, waiting. Green Harvest Credit Union is an example of what? I'm waiting for the answers. Okay, so it's an example of mutual association, guys. ठीक है? Ajit, not cooperatives. It's a mutual association. तभी तो देखो आगे वर्ड भी लिखा है ना म्यूचुअल, सॉरी एसोसिएशन वर्ड भी लिखा हुआ है. So it's an example of mutual association where they have formed this credit union, and so it's a group of rural farmers pool. See, they have pooled their saving. अपनी saving लगाई और एक छोटा सा बैंक बना दिया. Every member has one vote regardless of the money they are depositing. Profits are used to pay. So all these features we saw in the mutual associations. Okay. I hope Ajit it's clear. Second question. It follows the principle of dash member dash vote ensure democratic control. तो ये तो बहुत ही सिंपल है. वन मेंबर एंड वन वोट. ओके, सिंपल. थर्ड वन, because there are no external shareholders, profits are dashed within the organization for members' benefit. Profits are distributed within the organization or used within the organization for the members' benefit. Now let me remove this black strip from here because this contains answer. So expected answers, number one mutual, second is one and third is retained, returned, invested. तो मैं यहाँ पे लिख देता हूँ. The profits are retained in the within the organization or returned to the members or again reinvested. ठीक है? So retained, it could be returned also, it could be reinvested. Okay? Okay, chalo. Now tell me guys, any doubts so far? Anything you want to ask me? Nothing? Chalo. So we'll go back to our presentation, and now we will be discussing the second part of this chapter, that is stakeholders. Okay? Now pay very close attention. चलिए समझते हैं कि stakeholders क्या होते हैं. ठीक है? Focus. Just a second. Now understand the meaning of this word stakeholder. It is made up of two words. One is stake and the second is holder. है ना? Stakeholders are basically, see, stake, the word stake basically means interest or concern. तो किसी भी organization में, in any organization, any business organization, there are some parties, some persons, some entities who have interest, जिनका कोई interest होता है. They have some concern, who have some concerns also. those are known as stakeholder of your organization. I'm not, see, I can easily give you example. It's very easy. There is no rocket science in this. But what I expect from all of you to understand the meaning of this word so that in future आपसे कोई भी पूछे तो don't give them the example. Many times I have seen that when I ask student कि okay, tell me about the stakeholders, they say sir, shareholders, employees, government, suppliers, customer. Okay, these are the examples. I'm asking you what is stakeholder? You are giving me example. That's wrong. So stakeholders are those people, those entities, those persons, those parties who has some interest in your organization. अब वो इंटरेस्ट आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में किसी का भी हो सकता है. एम्प्लॉयज को भी इंटरेस्ट होता है. व्हाट काइंड ऑफ इंटरेस्ट एम्प्लॉयज हैव? सैलरी, बोनस. शेयर होल्डर्स, दे हैव इंटरेस्ट इन योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, प्रॉफिट शेयर. Okay, bank, are you going to pay back my money or not? Are you going to give me the interest or not? Government, are you paying the taxes or not? Supplier, when you are going to make payment of my supplies? Customers, are you delivering me good quality of goods or services or not? See, everybody has some interest. So these parties are known as stakeholders only. Okay? So stakeholder is basically a person or a group of people who have a stake, like interest or concern, in organization activities, performance or decisions. आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में क्या एक्टिविटीज़ हो रही हैं, क्या परफॉर्मेंस आप कर रहे हो, या आपके जो उसमें they have some interest. So they can affect or be affected by what the business does. So whatever your business is doing, they can affect it. Shareholders, they can affect your business by casting their votes in the meeting, and they can also affect it by what you are doing. So if your business is doing good, employees are getting good salary, bonus, very good. But if it's not doing good, that obviously it's not good for the employees and for the other stakeholders also. So stakeholders are those people, those persons, group of person जो आपको affect भी करते हैं and they also get affected. That's the meaning of their word interest. Interest का मतलब ये नहीं होता कि सिर्फ फायदा ही होगा, नुकसान भी होता है उनको. That is the meaning of, guys, stakeholder. Before we move to the next slide, I would like to know, is this clear? The meaning of the word stakeholders. Yes, tell me. Just reply on the chat box. Tell me, is this clear? Okay, ठीक है. Just a second, ना, 1 minute. Okay, now let's see some stakeholder groups. Main stakeholder group. ठीक है? So these are the different stakeholders. So you can see this slide is very good slide. And what are their interest? What's their stake? And वो क्या expect करते हैं? And these are the examples. So let's go through it. Let's understand it properly. And then we will see the agency relationship, the types of stakeholder as per the Johnson and Scholes model, very important. What is stakeholder conflict? How managers handle the stakeholder conflict? Manlow's matrix, one of the very important topic in your syllabus. Okay, ये क्या होता है ये मैं आपको बताऊंगा. And yes, that's it. So these are the topics which you have in your this, but this is very important. Okay, everything. Let's see some main stakeholder groups. Just a second, let me select a good color. Yes. So in the stakeholder group, the first one is shareholders slash owners. Now what is their interest in your organization? They have invested money. Hana, so what they expect? They interest return on their investment. They expect share price growth, profits. Example, Reliance shareholders expect rising the share value. Simple. Directors, managers, okay, they are also stakeholders. So directors, what's their stake? Their career, their reputation. What they expect? They are basically the employees of the company, na? So they expect that they get fair pay, progression, recognition mile, है ना? So CEO expects bonuses and authority. Okay. Employees and trade unions. Employees means other than directors and managers. So what's their stake? Their livelihood depends for your I mean जो employees होते हैं, what they expect? They expect their livelihood. उनको पता है कि यार if I'm working here, so I'm getting salary every month and my family everything depends on that. So what's their stake? Livelihood, welfare. They expect job security, good working condition. So the Infosys employees seek training and fair pay. See, it's very simple. ये सारे stakeholders हैं and their stake depends on what they're doing in the organization. Now, directors managers is the top position. So they are more concerned about their career, their reputation, the company's performance. Okay. Now, customers, another stakeholder. So customer, what's his stake? Quality, reliability of the product services. So they expect what? Fair pricing. भाई product सही price पे दो. They expect quality products. They expect good service. Amazon customers expect fast delivery. So Amazon customer, I'm also the Amazon customer. I order few things every month. Okay. So yes, I expect a faster delivery. That's my stake. So I'm also a stakeholder of the Amazon. Suppliers and partners. So suppliers expect payment, continuity. That's what stake. कि भाई पेमेंट आए और ऑर्डर मिलते रहे हमें, है ना? तो दे एक्सपेक्ट प्रॉम्प्ट पेमेंट, फेयर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. So raw material suppliers want stable order. Another stakeholder, lenders like bank. So they have loaned funds to you. उन्होंने पैसा दिया आपको, so obviously they have stake. So they expect timely repayment, interest payment. Banks funding TCS expect interest payments. Government, Sarkar, they tax employment. So government expects that you are giving employment. They expect yes, you are also paying the correct taxes. Compliance, tax revenues there. That's what they expect from you कि आप comply करो हर एक चीज़ को जो भी गवर्नमेंट ने रूल्स बना रखे हैं. Okay, they expect that you will give them the tax revenue. So government ensures that GST corporate taxes are collected properly. Community, general public is infrastructure, employment, corporate social responsibility, jobs, pollution control. ये सब एक जो general public होती है, they are the one who are not your customers. But see, if you are an organization, if you are working in a particular country, state or city, you are using the resources. And if you are using the resources, those resources are not going to the general public, correct? So general public expects, okay, that आप कहीं pollution तो नहीं कर रहे हो, ठीक है, आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज दे रहा है या नहीं दे रहा है. दैट्स वाई व्हेन अ कंपनी डज समथिंग रॉन्ग तो पब्लिक है सड़क पे आ जाती है. क्यों? बिकॉज दे आर ऑल्सो स्टेक होल्डर्स. Because you are working within the city, so if your organization is polluting the air, so yes, that air we all are consuming, using that air, correct? We are breathing that air. So yes, I am also the stakeholder. So Tata Steel supports local school. Okay. Environment, ठीक है. So these are the main stakeholder groups, and it's a very good slide, very good for revision, that what are the different stakeholders you have, what's at stake, and what they expect from you. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now, stakeholder and agency relationship. Okay, just a minute now. Now understand. Any doubts so far? Anyone? Anything you want to ask me? Just put it on the chat box. Nothing? Chalo. Now we'll discuss stakeholders and agency relationship. ये क्या होता है? Very important. This agency relationship. Managers act as agent for the owner's shareholders. The agency relationship is equals to separation between principal, who are the shareholders, and agents, who are the members. Managers make decision on behalf of shareholders but may have conflicting objective. That's known as agency problem. So let me tell you about this in more detailed way. Okay, let's come to this Excel sheet. Uh, Let me explain it here. So what we are studying right now is agency relationship, correct? Agency relationship. Now what happens, sorry, what happens in case of agency relationship? Suppose there is a company, name of the company is ABC. Now if I ask you, who are the owners of this company, you will say, sir, shareholders. So shareholders are the one who has basically invested, okay, who are basically invested in the above company. So for their investment, what they expect, they invest profits, correct? But are the shareholders, जो shareholders होते हैं, are they the one who runs the company? No. Who runs the company? Managers, directors. So directors slash managers okay, they run the organization. ठीक है? Now when they run the organization, whose behalf they are running it? Shareholders. पैसा किसने लगाया बिजनेस में? Shareholders ने. So shareholders are the one who has invested money in the business, but they are not running the business. They are not running the organization. For that, they have hired directors, managers who are doing this business operation. So director managers, they are the one who run the organization on behalf of the shareholders. Am I right? So can I say that these shareholders are basically the principal? ये प्रिंसिपल है यहाँ पे जिसके बिहाफ में काम किया जा रहा है. एंड कैन आई से दैट दीज डायरेक्टर्स आर द एजेंट of the principal. Why agent of the principal? Why agent of the shareholders? Because they are running business on behalf of the shareholders. That's why this directors known as the top management is known as agent of the shareholders or principal. And this relationship between the shareholders and the directors manager is known as agency relationship. So if I tell you what is agency relationship means the directors managers are agent of the shareholders. They are working on behalf of the shareholders because they are the one who have invested money in the business, not directors manager. They are the employees, they get salary. But sometimes what happens, conflict, देयर कैन बी कन्फ्लिक्ट, जिसको हम बोलते हैं एजेंसी कन्फ्लिक्ट. ओके, ये अराइज हो जाता है. नाउ व्हाट इज दिस एजेंसी कन्फ्लिक्ट? वेरी सिंपल. एजेंसी कन्फ्लिक्ट मीन्स व्हेन द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ शेयर होल्डर्स and the objective of directors is not matching. So shareholders expect, see, so the shareholders are principal. What, think about it, उनका क्या expectation हो सकता है? Shareholders must expect क्या कि we should get let's say good dividend this sorry just a second now. Yes, sorry for the interruption. So I hope now my voice is clear. So shareholders, what they expect? They expect good dividend this year from the profit. This is what their expectations are. But directors of the company, okay, directors have different agenda. What they are thinking, directors are thinking कि इस साल we'll have a good profit, so we are going to buy some new machine. We are going to buy some new machine, or we are going to this expand the business. Now, when you do this, buy some new machine or expand the business, there will be expenses, and that expenses will reduce the profits. So further, it will reduce the dividend also. So shareholders are expecting something else. Directors have some other objectives in their mind. That is known as agency conflict. दोनों के objectives अलग हो जाते हैं. That's a common problem. Okay. So this was the topic of agency relationship. Now, if you read this again, guys, you will understand every single thing from here. Stakeholder क्या हो गया? Stakeholders and agency relationship. Managers act as agent. Read it very carefully, word by word. Managers or directors act as agent for the owners, that is shareholders. Agency relationship is equals to separation between principal and agent. So principals are the shareholders, investors, agents are the managers, directors. Okay, these two things are separate. Managers make decision on behalf of shareholder, but may have conflicting objective. That's agency problem or agency conflict. Okay? So this was the topic of stakeholders and their agency relationship. Very important. Now, if you look at the second one, Johnson and Scholes, these are two persons, and this Johnson and Scholes, they gave us basically the types of stakeholder, not the stakeholder groups. This is the list of stakeholders. Now इसमें भी अलग अलग टाइप के स्टेक होल्डर्स होते हैं. जैसे मैं आपको बताता हूँ, शेयर होल्डर्स, ओनर्स, दे आर एक्सटर्नल स्टेक होल्डर्स. डायरेक्टर्स, मैनेजर्स, एम्प्लॉयज, इंटरनल स्टेक होल्डर्स. कस्टमर्स, एक्सटर्नल. तो जॉनसन एंड स्कोल्स ने जो स्टेक होल्डर्स की लिस्ट है उसको तीन कैटेगरी में बांटा: इंटरनल, कनेक्टेड एंड एक्सटर्नल. नाउ what is this internal category of stakeholders? Very simple. They work inside the organization, जैसे कि employees, managers, directors. What is external category of stakeholder? Indirectly affected by the organization activities. They are not inside the organization, obviously outside, but they get affected by the organization, like government, local community, competitors. Okay, they are indirect. Okay. Now there is one more category, very interesting one, connected. And you will get confused between connected and external, trust me. So I will explain it कि इसमें क्या फर्क होता है. What is this connected category of stakeholder? They are directly involved. So suppose let's say I have opened a manufacturing organization and I manufacture laptop mouse. ये इस तरह के mouse में manufacture करता हूँ. तो मेरे जो customers होंगे, they are not internal stakeholders. They are not inside the organization, correct? But am I connected with them? Yes. Whatever I am producing is directly related to that. They are directly involved in that. My suppliers who are supplying me the material, the components of this mouse, they are also connected stakeholders. Why? Because they are supplying something which I am using to manufacture the final product. My bank is giving me money. So they are connected. They are also external. ये एक्सटर्नल ही होते हैं. शेयर होल्डर्स, लैंडर्स, सप्लायर्स, दे आर एक्सटर्नल. बट ये इतने भी एक्सटर्नल नहीं है कि ये आपसे जुड़े ना हो. दे आर कनेक्टेड. So whatever your organization is doing or going to do, they are going to be affected by it directly. That's why direct involvement. But there are certain stakeholders like government, okay, general public, okay, local community, competitors. ये आपसे डायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट नहीं होता इनका. ये दे आर इनडायरेक्टली अफेक्टेड. सो गवर्नमेंट सेज कि हाँ, यू डू योर बिजनेस, वट एवर यू आर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू यूज इट, आई एम नॉट सप्लाइंग यू एनीथिंग. So there is no connection between you and me, but yes, do pay the taxes. Competitors, yes, they are also stakeholder. They have some interest. What kind of interest they have? What you are producing, at what price you are charging. So there is no direct involvement into your business, but yes, they are connected somehow. ठीक है? So they, as per the Johnson, remember this name, Johnson and Scholes model, there are three category, okay, of stakeholder: internal, connected, and external. Now, before we move further, come to this sheet. Just a second. जस्ट अ मिनट ना, कहाँ गया? हाँ, yes. In this case study too, if you remember, in case of this, sorry, case study number, case study number 3. This was the case which we didn't discuss, if you remember. एक मिनट देना. Sorry, not case study 2. Where is that? Why the member? हाँ. In case study 2, if you remember, there was one question. Case study 2 was for the mutual association. Point number 3 was, according to Johnson and Scholes model, classify the stakeholders. है ना? तो पहले तो देख लेते हैं कि कौन कौन से स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं इन केस ऑफ म्यूचुअल एसोसिएशन. तो आप देख सकते हो जैसे मैनेजर्स हैं, एम्प्लॉयज़ हैं, मेंबर्स, सप्लायर्स, रेगुलेटर्स, गवर्नमेंट, सेंट्रल बैंक, मीडिया, दे आर अ स्टेक होल्डर्स. सो दे आर आस्किंग यू कि इनको जॉनसन स्कूल्स के हिसाब से बांट दो. सो देर आर 3 कैटेगरीज: इंटरनल, connected, and external. Now managers and employees are internal stakeholder, and who are the connected members, depositors who are depositing money in this association, suppliers, regulators in financial contracts. Okay, external, government, central bank. This very easy one. ठीक है. Now there is one more case study जो अब हम discuss करेंगे, which was about the stakeholders and agency relationship. Pay attention now on this one. Okay. Tech Nova Limited. Okay, Tech Nova Limited is the name of the company we have. Now, Tech Nova Limited is a rapidly growing software company. Its shareholders base includes, है ना? तो इसके जो शेयर होल्डर्स हैं इसमें फाउंडर्स का 20% इन्वेस्टमेंट है. द इंस्टीट्यूशनल इन्वेस्टर्स है 55% स्टेक, एंड इंडिविजुअल शेयर होल्डर्स लाइक वी आर 25%. The board appoints a new CEO who wants to reinvest all profit into artificial intelligence research and development. So the board of this company, they appointed a new chief executive officer, और वो चाहता है कि वो सारा पैसा reinvest कर दे किसमें, AI, सारा profit. Shareholder however want higher dividend. ये example मैंने आपको दिया था. So you can see there is a agency conflict here. Agency problem is there. Okay. Okay. Now, meanwhile, employees demand salary increments, suppliers require, ये सबकी requirements है. You have different stakeholders, ना? You are a company. So every stakeholder has different expectation. The board, the CEO wants investment into AI. Shareholder, another stakeholder, they want higher dividend. Employees want higher salary increment. Supplier requires shorter payment. Supplier is saying कि भाई जल्दी payment करो. Government is pressurizing the Technova to strengthen the data privacy system, and local community groups oppose the company's new office construction due to traffic concern. Now, this creates a classic multi-stakeholder conflict environment. There is a multi-stakeholder conflict. सबका अलग अलग यहाँ पे ऑब्जेक्टिव है. सो जॉनसन, आई होप यहाँ तक क्लियर है. Now Johnson Scholes stakeholder classification. Johnson Scholes ने stakeholder को classify किया. They said कि ये अभी अभी हमने पढ़ा था. Employees, manager, board, they are internal. Connected में shareholders, suppliers, customers, and external में government, local community, competitors and media. Now these are the points which we need to discuss here. Number 1. Identify 3 key stakeholder conflicts in this scenario. आपको बताना है 3 यहाँ पे कौन से की स्टेक होल्डर कन्फ्लिक्ट्स हैं. लेट मी शो यू. द फर्स्ट कन्फ्लिक्ट ये वाला, एंड शेयर होल्डर्स. देयर इज अ डायरेक्ट कन्फ्लिक्ट हियर विच वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड अर्लियर. ओके. एंड अनदर कन्फ्लिक्ट, सी, एम्प्लॉयज डिमांड सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट बट दे आर गोइंग टू री इन्वेस्ट द प्रॉफिट, या फिर डिविडेंड दे देंगे तो इनको कैसे दोगे सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट. अनदर कन्फ्लिक्ट. देन local community group opposed the company's new office construction due to traffic concern. That's okay. I mean, local community क्या बोल रही है कि भाई there is too much traffic happening because of your new office construction. But another conflict, if you want to expand, तो आपको नया ऑफिस कंस्ट्रक्ट तो करना ही पड़ेगा ना. ओके. सो लेट मी एक मिनट ना, इसका हमारे पास जस्ट अ सेकेंड. ठीक है. Now इसका solution यहाँ पे नहीं है, so I am telling you. So these are the three key stakeholder conflicts we have. How does the agency relationship explain the tension between the CEO and the shareholder? तो ये तो हमने देख ही लिया है ना. एजेंसी रिलेशनशिप, बोर्ड, सीईओ, दे आर एजेंट ऑफ द शेयर होल्डर्स एंड देयर इज एजेंसी प्रॉब्लम. दे बोथ हैव डिफरेंट ऑब्जेक्टिव्स. ओके, अब बिल्कुल कन्फ्लिक्टिंग ऑब्जेक्टिव है. अगर वो एआई में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं तो प्रॉफिट कहाँ से देंगे, मतलब डिविडेंड कैसे देंगे, हो गया ना डायरेक्ट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट. Using Johnson and Scholes categorize all stakeholders involved, which we have already done here. Okay, internal, connected, and external. If you are the CEO, how would you balance the short-term shareholder expectations with long-term innovation goal? This is interesting. If you are the CEO of this company, how would you balance the short-term shareholder expectation with long-term innovation goal? See, shareholders are expecting dividend, short-term goal, and you have this लॉन्ग टर्म आइडिया इन योर माइंड कि लेट्स इन्वेस्ट इन द एआई एंड इन फ्यूचर जो हमारी कॉस्ट है बिकॉज ऑफ यूजिंग द एआई दैट विल रिड्यूस, प्रॉफिट्स विल बी हायर, देन वी विल पे द डिविडेंड. बट शेयर होल्डर्स को कैसे समझाओगे? सो द आंसर टू दिस, देयर आर डिफरेंट वेज यू कैन सॉल्व दिस. वन ऑफ द वेरी practical way कि if your shareholders are expecting dividend, you can give them some dividend at least, or a major amount you can invest in the AI. Okay, this, and yes, you can explain them ki once we invest in the AI, in future the cost is going to cut. So in future we'll have more profit so that we can give you the higher dividend later on. Abhi aap thoda sa le lo. Okay. Which stakeholder group should have highest priority based on power and interest? Now I would like to answer you guys to answer this. काफी टाइम से क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछा है. We have different stakeholder groups in this company. आपको बताना है कौन सा स्टेक होल्डर ग्रुप ऐसा है जिसके पास हाईएस्ट प्रायोरिटी है बेस्ड ऑन पावर एंड इंटरेस्ट. किसके पास सबसे ज्यादा पावर है और किसका सबसे ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट है? कैन यू गाइस टेल मी? यू कैन रीड द फर्स्ट फ्यू लाइन्स एंड टेल मी. Yes, anyone with the answer? Which one is the highest priority based on power and interest? Different stakeholders we have. किसके पास सबसे ज़्यादा पावर है और किसका सबसे ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट है टेक्नोवा लिमिटेड के अंदर? नो आंसर, ठीक है. सो आई टेल यू. सी यू हैव डिफरेंट स्टेक होल्डर ग्रुप. शेयर होल्डर्स, शेयर होल्डर्स के अंदर देखो तीन तरह के शेयर होल्डर्स हैं आपके. ओके, वन इज फाउंडर 20% स्टेक, institutional investors 55% stake, individual shareholders 25% stake. So you can see institutional investors have 55% stake. So they have the highest power. In any annual general meeting, they have highest voting percentage. And since they have highest percentage of shares, they are going to affect more. ठीक है? तो yes, which stakeholder group should have the highest priority based on power and interest? So I will say institutional investors. Now, since you guys didn't answer anything, any doubt, anything you want to ask me before we move to our notes? Okay, so you can see this in this last sheet, stakeholders. There is one example, agency problem example. So this is for your reading. Just reading, it's not homework. Okay, I'm not giving you any homework. एक बार ना read करना है आपको ये. ओके, इट्स अ केस स्टडी जहाँ पे आपको एजेंसी प्रॉब्लम के बारे में और बेटर तरीके से इट विल बी एक्सप्लेन्ड. ओके, जस्ट read it at least once. Okay, now let's go back to our presentation. So what we have discussed so far under the stakeholders, we have discussed the meaning of the stakeholder, different stakeholders groups, what is stakeholders and agency relationship means, है ना, and agency conflict problem हमने पढ़ लिया. Types of stakeholders as per Johnson and Scholes, okay, internal, connected and external. Now stakeholder conflict, ठीक है, ये भी एक बार देख लो. What is very simple, different stakeholders have different, see इसके ऊपर केस हम ऑलरेडी देख चुके हैं, so now it will be very easy for you. Different stakeholders have different type of expectations and because of that sometimes a conflict can arise. जैसे कि conflict between shareholders and managers. What type of conflict? Managers want growth and power, shareholders want dividend, है ना. Managers want growth and power, shareholders want dividend. That's the conflict. Example, CEO reinvest the profit, shareholders want payout in the form of dividend. Conflict. Another conflict between employees and shareholders. Employees want higher wages, shareholders कहते हैं नहीं नहीं कॉस्ट को कंट्रोल करो ताकि प्रॉफिट बढ़े और हमको डिविडेंड मिले. But agar if you pay higher wages, the cost will be on the higher side. Another conflict. Staff demand raise, salary raise, it will reduce the profit. Another conflict between customer and supplier. इनके बीच में भी conflict हो सकता है. कैसे? Customer says, I want goods or services in low prices, at low prices. Supplier क्या बोलेगा आपसे? No. एक मिनट, 1 second. हाँ, so what is the conflict here between customer versus supplier? So as a customer I expect low prices कि मुझे जो goods मिले वो कम price के मिले, correct? है ना? Now if your customer is demanding that, what will you do? Obviously you will ask your supplier to give you the cheap quality of material. In that case what will happen? The supplier जो है ना क्वालिटी खराब करेगा. अगर आप सप्लायर को बोलोगे, सपोज यू आर दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन and you want to deliver goods to your customer at lower prices, you will tell me, ask me ki sir, you are our supplier, so please supply us the material at reduced price. So as a supplier what would I do? I will provide you the cheap quality of material. तो एक तरह तो मैं कस्टमर के लिए प्राइस कम कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन दूसरी तरफ मैं प्रोडक्ट की सप्लाई जो क्वालिटी है उसको खराब कर रहा हूँ. सो एग्जाम्पल, retailers press suppliers for cheaper goods. Another conflict, community community versus business. So business wants expansion, community wants environment. Remember that case study जहाँ पे हम नया कंस्ट्रक्शन कर रहे थे and local community was saying there is so much traffic. So our purpose was expansion, but community was like कि भाई environment खराब हो रहा है, traffic खराब हो रहा है. So another conflict. Okay, factory expansion increases the pollution. That's, I think, I will say the last point is the major problem we have nowadays. Okay, because India is developing, India is a developing country, a lot of construction is going on. We are developing so many airports, ports, highways, so many things. So obviously pollution to hoga. So see, it's conflict. You have to expand also, and yes, it has some disadvantages too. So this type of some conflicts are there. Now how managers handle these conflicts? Now you are the manager of a company and somebody asks you कि भाई conflict हो रहा है, pick any conflict, manage it. What would you do? What sort of things you can do? You have to prioritize. You have to see which thing is more important, which stakeholder is more important. If my shareholders are more important to me, then I will pay dividend on a higher side and I will say expansion बाद में करेंगे. If my customers are more important to me, then I will provide goods at the lower prices. If my community is more important to me, I will delay the expansion. So it depends, case to case basis, what's your priority. So focus on most powerful stakeholders as per Mandela's matrix in next topic. अब ये Mandela's matrix क्या होता है ये थोड़ी देर बाद बताता हूँ. अभी इतना जान लो कि when you have to handle or resolve the conflict, okay, which you have between the different stakeholders, okay, you have to prioritize. आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि आपका कौन सा स्टेक होल्डर है जो आपके लिए ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, बेस्ड ऑन द पावर दे हैव, बेस्ड ऑन द इंटरेस्ट दे हैव, है ना. एवरी स्टेक होल्डर हैज सम पावर इन योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एंड सम इंटरेस्ट. किसका ये ज्यादा है, किसका कम है, उसके बेसिस पे आई विल डिसाइड कि what I have to do. So the first technique of handling the stakeholder conflict is prioritization. Then comes the communication. Give them regular updates and be transparent. Compromise. Balance the short-term profit and long-term sustainability. Like I said, you want to do the expansion, but your shareholders are asking for dividend. Okay, pay some amount as dividend and remaining amount of invest kar do. So you have to do some compromise. Corporate governance, ensure accountability between owners and the managers. ठीक है. So yeah, there are different ways as a manager, and this is one of the work which you guys will do. I mean, once you become the ACCA qualified, है ना, आप जब job करोगे, when you go to the top position after few years, then this type of things you have to handle. कि who are my stakeholders first of all. Okay, these stakeholders I have to prioritize them. Who is more important? Now, when you think about कि prioritization, जब भी आप प्राइटेजाइजेशन के बारे में सोचेंगे, यू हैव टू चेक दिस मैंडलोस मैट्रिक्स. दिस मैंडलोस मैट्रिक्स विल हेल्प यू इन प्रायोरिटाइजिंग द स्टेक होल्डर्स. इसको स्टेक होल्डर मैपिंग भी कहा जाता है. वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. ठीक है, ध्यान से देखना, दिस विल टेक सम टाइम. एक मिनट ना. And this is basically the last topic of this chapter, but this is very interesting. So those who are listening to me, please tell me any doubt, anything you want to ask me. Yes, anyone, any doubt? You can put your message on the chat box. Anything? I'm waiting for the response. Okay, no revert, no worries. So how, okay, let's understand this Mandela's matrix, which is known as stakeholder mapping. Okay, ध्यान से देखिएगा. What Mandela said, okay, Mr. Mandela's name of a person, he gave us 4 quadrants, okay, and basically they are going to tell you that how to manage, okay, how to manage different stakeholder groups based on 2 dimensions. ठीक है, आपके अलग अलग स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं, करेक्ट. देर आर 9-10 स्टेक होल्डर्स वी हैव सीन, शेयर होल्डर्स, कस्टमर, सप्लायर्स, गवर्नमेंट, एटसेट्रा. हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू मैनेज दैम डिपेंड्स ऑन 2 dimensions. First dimension is the level of interest they have in your organization. Second dimension is the level of power they have. So I'm saying 2 dimensions. Now look at this screenshot. ठीक है, मैंने क्या बोला, 2 dimension. So this is the first dimension, the level of interest they have. Just focus on the area which is I am highlighting, and then you will understand this. So Mandela said कि when you are thinking about managing your stakeholders, you have to think, first you have to think the 2 dimensions कि हर एक stakeholders का what is their level of interest and what is their level of power. किसका कितना इंटरेस्ट है आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में और किसके पास कितनी पावर है. सो देयर आर 2 dimensions, लेवल ऑफ इंटरेस्ट एंड देयर इज अनदर डायमेंशन, लेवल ऑफ पावर. Now this level of interest of any particular stakeholder या तो ये लो होगा या तो ये ज्यादा होगा. Similarly, the level of power could also be either low, या तो लो होगा पावर या फिर पावर होगी हाई, यही हो सकता है. So see, now we have a four quadrants: level of interest low, level of interest high, level of power low, level of power high. ठीक है, तो दो डायमेंशंस अभी तक मैंने आपको बताए एज पर द मैंडलोस. So the first dimension, level of interest, says how much the stakeholder cares about the organization actions and decision. इसके अंदर ध्यान सुनना, लेवल ऑफ इंटरेस्ट का मतलब होता है वो स्टेक, आई मीन इट बेसिकली शोज हाउ मच इंटरेस्ट यू हैव, हाउ मच यू केयर अबाउट द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एक्शंस एंड डिसीजन. इंटरेस्ट, वुड दे वांट टू रेसिस्ट और सपोर्ट द स्ट्रैटेजी. क्या ये जो लेवल, आई मीन जिसको जो इंटरेस्ट है आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, क्या वो आपकी स्ट्रैटेजी को रेसिस्ट करेंगे, मींस दे आर गोइंग टू से नो टू इट, और दे आर गोइंग टू सपोर्ट इट. व्हाट इज लेवल ऑफ पावर? How much the stakeholder is able to see. What is power? Power means influence. If I can influence your decision, then I have a power. If I can't influence your decision, then I have a very less power over you. So when we talk about level of power, how much the stakeholder is able to influence or affect the organization, could they stop or change the strategy? ठीक है, अभी आपको सब समझ में आएगा इन सम टाइम. सो व्हाट मैंडलस सेड देयर आर टू डायमेंशंस व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट द मैनेजमेंट ऑफ स्टेक होल्डर ग्रुप. फर्स्ट डायमेंशन इज देयर लेवल ऑफ पावर, लेवल ऑफ इंटरेस्ट एंड देयर लेवल ऑफ पावर. ये दो डायमेंशंस हैं. नाउ दीज टू डायमेंशंस कुड बी लो और कुड बी हाई. बेस्ड ऑन दैट, नाउ कम लिसन वेरी केयरफुली, बेस्ड ऑन दैट Mandalos had prepared four quadrants: quadrant A, quadrant B, quadrant C, and quadrant D. In quadrant A, see the quadrant A, just focus on it. Level of interest is low and level of power is also low. So what you are going to do, you have, let's say, 10 stakeholders. You have 10 stakeholders. Now you will ask yourself कि ये जो stakeholder है, let's say stakeholder number 1, what is its level of interest and level of power? If that stakeholder's level of interest and level of power is low, जैसे कि आपके ऑफिस के अंदर जो कैजुअल लेबर होती है, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पे जो लेबर आती है, दे हैव वेरी लेस इंटरेस्ट इन योर डिसीजन मेकिंग, दे हैव नो इंटरेस्ट इन योर कंपनी. वो आते हैं, दे डू देयर वर्क, देन बाय बाय. Their level of power is low. They don't have any power. They can't do anything. अगर कल को कंपनी कोई डिसीजन ले रही है, can they come to the office and say no, we are not agreeing to it? Who are you? So you will scan your stakeholder list and you will see, okay, this stakeholder has lowest power, lowest interest. So I will put this in category A or quadrant A more specifically. Okay? This is my quadrant. तो मैंने इसको quadrant A में रख दिया. क्यों? Now I know that this stakeholder has lowest interest, lowest power, so I am going to put minimal efforts towards them. कम से कम एफर्ट लूंगा इनके लिए मैं. Now again you are scanning your stakeholder list. Then you found out one more stakeholder. ठीक है, one more stakeholder. Let's say the employees, the core employees who are very important. Now these core employees, what interest they have? Their interest is high. They are the core employees. They are actually running your business. So they are very much interested that what kind of decision you are taking. See, in case of interest, how much the stakeholders cares about the organization. तो if I am the core employee, suppose मैं core employee हूँ किसी XYZ organization का, so what decision they are going to take? I am interested in that and my level of interest is high. But do I have also the power? I am an employee. I have interest in your decision, but I cannot ask you to change your decision. That I don't have that power. So those stakeholder group, okay, which has high level of interest but low power, will come to quadrant B, and as the organization, your duty is just keep them informed. See what we are doing now. The bold, this action word, what we are doing here, read the line. How to manage the different stakeholder group. हमें stakeholder groups को manage करना था ना. We are managing them. We are managing them based on in which category they belong. Do they belong to category A or category B? If they belong to category B, okay, keep them informed. I just manage them. Now, again, you are scanning your stakeholders list. You found out there's one more stakeholder. Let's say the institutional shareholders. Now, the institutional shareholders, they are like, in our example, they had 55% shares. याद है ना? They have 55% interest in your company, but they have very less interest. उनको पता भी नहीं होगा कि आप क्या कर रहे हो, क्यों कर रहे हो. They are only interested कि भाई give me the dividend, profit share. What strategies you are making, they have very less interest. But what about power? They have the highest power, 55%. They have power in any meeting. If they want, they can influence, they can change the decision you have taken. So, as far as this type of stakeholders are considered, keep them satisfied. आपको इनको satisfy रखना पड़ेगा. So, if you remember the examples we were discussing, there were shareholders who demanded the dividend profit. So, you have to think who are these shareholders? Oh, they are institutional investors. They have more than 50, 60, 70% shares in our company. और आप कह रहे हो कि नहीं नहीं इनको मना कर देंगे हम पहले expansion करते हैं. You can't do that. Why? Because their level of interest is less, but they have high power. They can change your decision. So you have to keep them satisfied in any way you want. Again, you are scanning your shareholders, stakeholders list, and you found out one of the supplier. एक supplier है आपका, बड़ा important supplier है. That supplier supplies you basically 80% raw material. Now that supplier's level of interest is very high. वो बहुत ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट बिकॉज सी दैट सप्लायर इज सप्लाइंग यू 90% ऑफ योर मटेरियल. तो उसका तो मेन रेवेन्यू आपसे ही आ रहा है. तो दैट सप्लायर हैज वेरी मच इंटरेस्टेड इन व्हाट डिसीजन यू आर टेकिंग एंड दैट सप्लायर आल्सो हैज पावर. व्हाई? अगर वो आपको सप्लाई करना बंद कर दे, आप रॉ मटेरियल ठीक है आप कहीं और से अरेंज कर लोगे आई नो, बट फॉर सम टाइम इट विल इंपैक्ट योर बिजनेस. So if some stakeholder has high level of interest along with high power, they are the key players. They are the key players. आपको तो इनको सबसे ज़्यादा खुश रखना पड़ेगा. So this is what Mandela's matrix is. It started from listen very carefully, okay? It started from I want to manage my stakeholder, but Mandela said before you manage them, first categorize them. First categorize them based on two dimensions, level of interest they have and level of power they have. So if your stakeholder has low interest and low power, put minimal efforts. If your stakeholder has high interest but less power, okay, interest बहुत high है तो इनको inform रखो. But if your stakeholder has low interest but high power, keep them satisfied. But if your stakeholder has both high, they have high level of interest, high power, तो दे आर योर की प्लेयर्स. आपको उनको सेटिस्फाई नहीं, आपको उनकी जो रिक्वायरमेंट्स है उसे फुलफिल करना पड़ेगा. दैट इज वॉट मैंडेलस मैट्रिक्स, also known as stakeholder mapping. So please tell me, is this clear? Any doubt you have? If you have any doubt. Yes, anyone? Any doubts? Tell me guys, any doubts? Okay. So let's move to the next few slides we have. Okay, very quickly, एक आध slide देखते हैं, then we will close for the day. Okay. So again, this is just the explanation of all these four quadrants, which I have already explained. But yes, we'll go through them. So Mendel's matrix. So there are four quadrants. You can see quadrant A, B, C, and D. So quadrant A is low power, low interest. You can just see here. Quadrant A, low power, low interest. ठीक है? Then next slide is quadrant B, low power, high interest. Quadrant B, interest is high, power is low. Then you have quadrant C, where the power is high and interest is low. High power, low interest. So high power and interest is low quadrants. This you have to remember कि कौन सा quadrant में क्या आता है. And then we have quadrant D with quadrant D with high power and high interest. So everything is mentioned here कि किस quadrant में कौन है और आपको क्या करना है. So we'll go through it once. So quadrant A is low power, low interest. Example, कौन आता है इस quadrant में? Casual labor, temporary workers. What action you are going to take for them? Very minimal effort because they have low power, low interest. Why? They cannot influence the decision and are not deeply interested. They cannot influence your decision, है ना? Because they have less power and also they have not much interest in what you are doing. Practical example. Students hired for a 2-week marketing campaign, low interest and low power. Suppose I am doing some marketing campaign and I hired some students, है ना, 2 वीक के लिए बस. तो उनको ना तो कोई इंटरेस्ट है मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ और ना दे डोंट हैव एनी पावर. सो माय जॉब इज टू जस्ट आई मीन वेरी मिनिमल एफर्ट आई विल पुट फॉर देम. ओके. Quadrant B has low power, high interest. You can see the quadrant B here. Low power, high interest. Low power, high interest. Example, they are the core employees, trainees, है ना? Keep them informed. Why? They care a lot. They have high interest because see they have high interest, but their power is less. They cannot influence the strategy. So practical example, if you see, employees worried about new AI system should be kept informed to avoid fear or rumor. So your core employees, they are worried about new AI system. कि भाई ये हमें रिप्लेस तो नहीं करेगा. So they have high interest. They are core employees. But can they do anything? Can they ask the company ki no, no, don't purchase this new AI system? No. So for these employees, your job is keep them informed. Okay, keep them informed so that they know that what the company is doing and accordingly they can take their decisions. Then comes the quadrant C, high power, low interest. Example, institutional shareholders, big lenders, they have less interest आप क्या कर रहे हो, but their power is very high. Keep them satisfied. Why? They can influence your decision. So if they come to this, they can influence. They can ask you to change the decision. Why? Because they have high power. And but don't care about daily routine. आप daily क्या कर रहे हो? They are not interested in that. Practical example, a large bank that lent $5 million to एक बैंक है जिसने आपको $5 million उधार दिया है. They have high interest. They're not interested, sorry, they have high power. They're not interested what you are doing on daily basis. So they doesn't care about day-to-day operation but must be assured repayment. तो आपको उनको satisfy रखना पड़ेगा. And last quadrant is high power, high interest. ठीक है. So main supplier, senior management, they have high interest and also very good power. They can leave the organization anytime. Regulators, so they are the key players. You have to manage them very closely. Why? They have maximum influence and maximum interest. So जैसे stock exchange regulator, SEBI. So if you are a listed company and so you are under SEBI. So SEBI has high power. If you do anything wrong, SEBI can just cancel your license. Okay, and they have also have high interest. Why? They are managing you very closely. They have high power. They can influence your decision and they have high interest also ki whether you are doing the business correctly or not. So they are managing everything very, very closely. So this was your Mandel's matrix. So this chapter technically it's over, but tomorrow again we will revise it. We'll solve 3-4 exam type questions also, and then we'll move to the chapter number 2, which is I think business environment. Okay? So anything you want to ask me guys before we close for the day? Anything? Any doubts? Okay, so if there are no doubts, okay, see you guys tomorrow. Okay, thank you very much.